Good morning. I saw the wave. Okay, how are we doing? So today we're going to work on some mobility and some stretching and a little bit of balance. So we're going to start with challenging our balance. So you're probably a little on the tight side, so this is going to feel good. Make sure you have water and a towel, so you're all set. Pick up your left foot. Ooh, she's getting right into it. Yes. So just hold it here. Now I want you to sweep up your opposite arm. So try to get your arm as long and strong as you can. And now I want you to push your foot tight into the hand. So we're trying to get a good release through the front part of our leg. Now take this arm out to the side with your palm facing the floor and sweep it backwards a little bit till you feel those shoulder blades pinch together. Now you're going to release the arm, bring the knee up and into the chest, moving nice and slow with lots of control. Now you're going to circle your foot. If you need a little help with balance, you can always hold on to a chair. But you want to try to avoid that. Even if you fall off, you can just join back in, right? And a couple more, changing up the direction, maybe point and flex, and release it down. Okay, pick up your right foot. You want to have your knees pretty close together so that your knee is like right under the hip. So get comfortable with your balance, and once you're there, sweep this arm all the way up, directly up to the ceiling. Try to get the arm nice and long, and once you feel confident, start to push that right foot into your right hand. Now take this arm down to the side, parallel to the floor, palm faces the floor, and sweep it backwards. Have a lot of patience, right? Now let the arm go. Bring your knee gently up and into the chest and start to circle the foot. Change your direction. Point and flex, whatever feels good. And take it down. Okay, feet are going to the edges of your mat. So they're not as wide as they could be, but they're pretty wide. So just have your toe and part of your heel on the floor. Hands to your quads. I want you to hip hinge. And just let the hands start to gently get closer to the knees. Hold your body parallel to the floor. Retract the shoulders, keep your neck long. And most important, pull in your stomach. Now come back up. And take it back down again. Nice and slow with lots of control. I want you to try to push your weight to the back. So back of the feet, hips push back. You're trying to release the back of the legs. Come back up. Now this time you're just going to free float the arms. Just let them go, but keep your shoulders retracted. You're going to fold further down till your fingertips touch the floor. Your spine is still long, and now we're going to come back up. So try not to let the shoulders round forward because you're keeping your spine long. Pull the hips backwards. Once the fingertips touch the floor, start to come back up. Now, adding on to this, I want you to isometrically pull your feet in towards each other. So you're bringing your inner thighs to the party here. Hips are still pushing back and you're still weighting the back of the feet while you isometrically pull them together. We're going to do a few more. Okay, now on this next one, keep those feet pulling together You're going to come all the way down to the floor with your hands, and you're going to walk them to the front of your mat. And now, once they're in the front of the mat, you're going to step your feet back. So you're in your high plank. Just hold here. And now bring the shoulders, bring your body through the arms to warm up the shoulders, and then pull back forward to plank. And do it again. You might want to limit your range of motion a little bit while you're just warming up. So it's not about forcing, just go where this feels good. Couple more. Okay, once you're in your plank, I want you to put your knees down on the floor. Now you're going to take your right hand. Part of the heel of the hand is going to be just touching the edge of the mat. Your fingers are going to be facing the right side. So turn them. And then do the same with the left. Part of the heel on the mat, the fingers are on the floor, and your fingers are facing out. So you got a wide grip with the hands. Now you're going to elevate off the knees. So now you're in your high plank again. And I want you to drop into your shoulders without bending at the elbow, and then press away. Try to create more space between those shoulder blades. Drop in. You're just looking forward, so it's not the face dropping. Now push away from the earth. You can even add a little spinal flexion to your upper back, and then drop back in. And just keep oscillating between pressing up and away and then lowering into the shoulders, if that makes sense. A few more. Okay, let's come back to a normal plank position. Put the knees back on the floor. We're going to slowly move the hips close to being over the heels. Your fingers are now going to face forward, and they should be in the corners of your mat. So you have quite a bit of distance between the hands. Now your head is tucked in between the arms. So you're actually working at strengthening the neck here because your forehead's off the floor. Now I want you to create an isometric pull of your hands reaching backwards towards your body. They're not going to move. And then release that tug. And then do it again. And keep oscillating between that isometric movement, contraction, whatever you want to call it, to a nice release. And if your head gets tired, put your forehead down, start again. Just a couple more. Okay, now come back up onto all fours. You're going to slide your wrists so they're right underneath the shoulders. We're going to do some nice slow motion cat-cows, about 10 of them. So just sort of go at your own pace. And if it feels good to hang out in a spot, hang out in a spot. It's not really about the number, it's more about feeling a great stretch. And this is something that our bodies would love if you did every day. Keeping your spine healthy, flexibility to the lower back. Now, while you do these cat-cows, it's important to keep the belly in. So it's working the entire time. Okay, now we're going to hold with a rounded back. You're looking at your knees. Now I want you to just move your hips back a little bit, suck in the belly. Just a little. Feel the difference of the stretch in the low back. Now come back forward, drop into the shoulders, take your gaze up, keep your belly in. Hold on this spot. Okay, let's come back to a neutral spine. I want you to come off your knees And now meet me in a small down dog. So it should be fairly easy to have your heels down. Now here we're going to oscillate between up high on the toes and heels all the way to the floor. When the heels are down, I'd like you to be in a straight leg. Lift and lower. Just do that 10 times. Don't forget to breathe. This class is all about mobility, flexibility, breathing, so you get that nice chill feeling when the class is over to start your day. Gotta breathe as much as you can. Okay, let's come back, meet in the bear. So you're just bending at the knee, so your knees are just above the floor. Keep the belly working. Now let's put the knees down, let everything release, and then reactivate. Belly in, knees up. And do that 10 times, lifting and lowering. Arms are straight, but you can have like a little micro bend in the elbow, so you're not locking out. Find your breath with movement today. Shoulders stay over the wrists when you elevate off the knees. Please don't let them drift backwards. It's a great way to wake up your core. Face should be looking down at the floor and your neck should be nice and long. Okay, let's meet back in that small dog. Heels on the floor. Now we're going to take baby steps with our feet all the way forward. This is your first time in a full forward fold. Please drift your hips back and try to straighten out your legs. If your wrists need a little break, you can put the tops of the hands on the floor just beside your feet with your fingers facing backwards. If you keep the arms nice and long and drift back, you're going to feel a nice stretch through the wrists and forearm. Your head should just be dangling. Now let's breathe some huge breaths here and really puff out through the ribs. And if your torso can get a little closer to the legs, you can come off your hands, just have your palms down. But now I want you to keep bends in the elbows. So if you can get a little closer to your legs when you exhale each breath, why not? Okay, we're going to inhale, extend to a flat back, and do a nice slow reverse swan dive all the way back up. Flip your palms, reach for the ceiling. Long arms. Try to get taller from the top of the head and try to lift out of your hips. So you're lifting up through your thighs, hips, torso. Everything is trying to get longer. And now relax the arms. You're going to step your left foot forward and your right leg back. Now I want you to take the right leg as far back as you can with your heel on the floor. So you might need to test the waters, maybe go back a little farther. But I also want you to feel very stable. So let's make sure you've got good width between the feet. You're going to walk your hands down. We're doing this in 2 stages. Your spine is long to start. Take it down. Now just hang out here and breathe. 5 big breaths. Again, if you don't feel those ribs puffing out, I want you to take in more air. Please position your head wherever your neck feels okay. So you have an opportunity to probably see both your feet while you're holding this pose. Let's make sure the feet are directly facing forward. Sometimes they want to do funky things. Okay, so we're taking this to the next level. You're going to round your back. You're going to relax your head so you're just looking through your legs, hands to the floor. So you're folding over your front leg. Now from here, we're going to add movement. So you're going to inhale, extend to a flat back and fold back down, and do that 4 more times. Big breaths when you extend. Exhale out as you lower. Hold the extension, bring your hands back onto your shin, walk them up your legs slowly. Step your back foot in and switch legs. So now your left foot goes back, test the waters, get it back a good distance. Let's take it down on that right leg. Holding with your spine long, lots of deep breaths. It's funny, the Apple Watch tells us to stand when we've been sitting too long, but I feel it doesn't really tell us to breathe as much as we should throughout our day. Shame on Apple. You need to breathe. You get such benefits from it. Okay, hands down, fold over that leg, relax the head, chill out. Both of your legs are straight. Now inhale, extend, flat back. Fold back down. Do that 4 more times. Yeah, that's all neat and extension. Hands back onto your shin. Walk it up slowly. And step your back foot forward. Nice job. Big deep breath. Sweep your arms all the way up. Get them nice and long. And let's do a nice slow swan dive all the way down. Now, fingertips on the floor. You're going to open up your feet. Edges of the heels just on the mat, but turn your toes out. So you're in like a sumo squat position. Let's bring the fingertips towards the front of the mat. So your arms are reaching. Now I want you to bend your legs. And then straighten them. You be the judge of how much bend you get in your knees. It's not a competition. This is a feel-good, stretchy, bendy moment. Whoever thought that squats could be good? They are so good for us, for strengthening, for bringing flexibility, these hips and groin area. So you can amp this up a little bit if you like. You can hold your hips down and you can bring your hands to heart, look forward, take your elbows to the insides of your knees, hold in prayer pose with this nice deep squat. Now you're going to take the hands to the floor, go back to a straight leg. Have your feet face forward and make them a little wider. Hopefully you're not going to slip because they're not on the mat. You can also turn sideways if you want them on the mat. Now you're just going to fold down. So the top of the head is just hovering above the floor. This is a great opportunity to get good blood flow to your face. Let's just chill out here and breathe. Let the shoulders dangle. So you don't need to keep them retracted here. This is just really unweighting the torso. Couple of more breaths. If you want to take your feet a little wider, go for it. Maybe your forearms can be down on the mat. Now, to amp this up, think about rotating the coccyx bone up towards the ceiling. You're going to get a little stronger tug between the back and inner thigh of the legs. Okay, let's bring the fingertips back out, shoulder width apart. You're going to inhale to a flat back. And then drift your hips backwards and fold back down. Top of the head over the floor. Do it again. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. 3 more times at your pace. Hips should continually be pushing backwards. Okay, hands are down. Your back is in extension. All we're going to do is step 1 foot at a time backwards and meet in a high plank. Hold your high plank. Now let's lower the knees to the floor. I want you to kick your feet out to the side so you can have a seat. Now sweep those legs forward. We're going to keep the legs bent here. So I want you to take your hands behind you, somewhere where you feel like you can lean back a little bit. So maybe the hands are quite wide. Now you're just going to lower your knees to the right and bring them up and take them to the left. And this isn't about making anything perfect. We're doing it a certain way. It's just kind of about mobility, feeling good, moving through these joints. I like to do this because I feel like I get a nice little butt massage when I roll. Okay, now we're going to connect the bottoms of our feet. You can hold your feet. And you're just going to add a little gentle rock side to side. Now, doing this, you kind of want to try to let these legs relax and get a little closer to the floor. I have a bit of an inner thigh injury, so it's not working very well for me. Hopefully it is for you. So as you exhale, try to let your knees relax so you're not fighting it. Okay, now bring those hands back behind you again and lean back a little bit. Now let's bring the knees together and open. And just keep oscillating between the two. And when you bring them together, I want you to activate those inner thighs by squeezing the knees into each other. Nice. Couple more. We're going to spend the rest of the class on the floor. So get comfy. I don't know if you need a pillow or any cushioning, but okay. So take your heels to the corners of the mat. Sit up in staff pose, nice and tall and long with your spine. Bring the arms forward. Lift the arms up and reach for the ceiling and try to get them straight. Try not to lean back, so I want you to pull your tummy in for stability. Now, if you can, connect the palms, take them down behind that right foot. So you've got your fingers clasped. You've taken the hands behind the foot. Now I'd like you to bend at the elbow and see if you can just take your face down towards your knee. So you're getting all those little tendons behind the knee to release. Now, extend back to a flat back and then fold back down again. And do that 4 more times. Inhale, extend so your spine is long. And then exhale, release back down. Now you're rounding your inflection. So it's inhaling when you extend, and it's exhaling when you fold. Okay, once you're in extension now, I want you to release those arms and sweep them all the way back up. Your spine is long, you're trying to get tall. And let's take it over to the opposite side. Behind that foot, you can always use a towel if you can't reach. So you start out with your arms long, and then we're going to fold right down over that leg. Just breathe here for a little bit. Now inhale, extend. And then exhale, fold. Inhale, extend, try to keep that left leg straight, and then exhale, release. Couple more. Okay, hold it up, release those arms, reach for the ceiling. We're going to separate the hands, hold really long and tall. Now, make sure you're pulling your belly in. I want you to just take a small little lean back and pay attention to what happens with your stomach. It is now doing the job of holding the body in this position. Now lift your right foot up and lower it and lift the left. It doesn't need to be huge, whatever you're comfortable with, but please don't round your lower back. This is a little hip flexor strengthening while you challenge your core. Now remember, whenever work gets challenging, whether you're doing chores around your house or you're exercising, important to find your breath. Okay, now you're going to sit back up and you're going to fold all the way forward between your legs. This is a nice chill out moment. You're rounding your back. Your forearms are down on the floor. Just breathe. Now inhale to a flat back. So I've got my fingers out in front, and then I'm going to fold back down, elbows to the floor. And do that 4 more times. Inhale, look up. Arms are long. Exhale, forearms to the floor, round your upper back. Drop your head. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Come back to a sitting nice and tall position. Bring your feet together so they're hip width apart. Let's take the arms out in front. Now you get to C-curve your spine. So round your lower back. Start to go back. Spine is in flexion, tummy is in. That's what's important. Excuse me. Once you get down, oh, I love this stretch. Take the arms all the way back behind you. How good does this feel? Reach them nice and long. I want you to point your toes. Now I want you to flex your feet and pull the arms to the floor, forward. Palms are down on the floor by your side. And then point the toes, move the arms backwards. And just keep doing that a few more times. Try to be nice and flat on the shoulder blades. Spread your fingers wide, point those toes so you get a nice stretch through the shins. And then reverse it. Arms come forward and feet are flexed. One more time back with the arms. And now you're going to bring them forward. You're going to pull that left foot all the way in towards your butt as far as it will go. And then the right one, the same. Now I want you to roll the pelvis up so you feel the lower back on the floor. Just hold that. You should feel the mid part of the back pressing into the floor too. And now reverse it. Roll the pelvis down. Create space as much as you can back there. Now, while the pelvis is rolling forward and back, I want you to purposefully draw in the stomach. So teach yourself to hold that tight contraction while you breathe. It's just a practice. So your belly right now is saying, oh, you're not giving me a break. Okay, I can deal with it. Couple more, because this feels so good. Okay, extend the legs down. Take your arms all the way back behind you. We're going to Pilates style it back up. So arms come forward, head lifts, belly down, open the legs, dive through your legs. Forearms are on the floor. You're gonna stay here for 5 breaths, and then we're gonna move on to 90-90s. Really expand the ribs. Make sure your head is comfortable. Okay, come on back up. So 90-90, we take the right leg, make a 90-degree angle from your heel to your knee. Take your left one, and I like to use a towel because my left knee ends up off my mat. So I'm going to put a towel underneath my left knee. I want 90 degrees between the knee and the hip and the knee and the ankle. Now I'm going to take my arms out in front of this left leg. I'm going to fold over so my face is beyond the left knee. Big stretch for the glute. Hopefully you're feeling it. And then come back up. So your hands are out in front like you're in a push-up position. Now, try to slide sorry, we're folding over the right knee. I think I might have said left. Sorry about that. Fold down and then push yourself back up. So you're bending through the elbows like you would doing a push-up. And just sort of go up and down. This is another great way to get a deep release in the lower part of the glute. Okay, now you're going to take your left hand behind your left leg and your right hand just outside of that right knee. And then we're going to flip the knees the other way. So you're just rotating. Now you're facing the back. But I want you to keep your hands behind you because we're going to oscillate between front and back. So flip your knees forward and back. And you want to try to work the knees as close to the floor as you can. But again, we're not forcing, we're not aggravating. We're just creating a nice haha moment. I love this feeling. I know this is so good for me. Okay, now we're going to meet facing the back of our room. Bring your hands out in front like you're in a push-up position, and let's do those drops. So drop over that left leg this time and back up. You work a range of motion that feels good for your behind, whatever that is. Try to keep your left knee nice and low to the floor. Make sure you got the 90-90 everywhere. Okay, take it down. Let's just hold it just for a sec or two. Hold it down. 1, 2, maybe 3. Okay, now come back up. Bring the right hand behind you and let's oscillate side to side again. So hopefully, now that you've stretched out both sides, this should be a little bit easier. When you're going, get those knees down to the floor if you can. Okay, now sweep your legs around forward. We're going to come down with our knees hugging into the chest. We're going to make a nice little circle to massage our lower back. I'm going to do some stretching for our upper back and shoulders and arms. But this is just a little bit of love before we get there. Change directions of your circle. Nice. Now let's open the knees nice and wide and circle them out in front. Pull them together and bring them back in. So you're trying to make the circle as big as you can, getting into these inner thighs. Now let's reverse it. Bring them in and around. Or I should say around and then in. Anyways, as long as you're moving these knees, it doesn't really need to be any certain way. It just needs to feel good. Okay, so now rock and roll back up. You're going to roll onto your right hip with your legs somewhat bent. So it doesn't have to be a 45-degree angle. Just bend your legs And then come on down onto that right side with your arms stretched out behind you. And your head can rest on that right arm, like as a pillow. Or you could just get a pillow. Now take your left arm over your left hip. Spread your fingers wide, palm faces the floor. Lift the arm up till you feel your shoulder and wrist are stacked, and then lower it down. And lift and lower. And if you're limited in your range, that's okay. It's not about forcing. Okay, now we're going to circle this arm. So bring it forward, take it backwards, bring it up and around. Whatever range of motion you got going on is fabulous. This is just working on flexibility through the shoulders. We spend so much of our day rounding over technology or a steering wheel. So loosening up the shoulders are fabulous. Okay, now take a pillow if you have one handy, or maybe you don't need one. Lift your head off that right arm. Bring your right arm forward so your wrist and shoulder line up. So you've got your arm out to the side. Now take your left palm, stack your palms. We've done this before, so hopefully you know the drill. Lift the left arm up and sweep it across the body. Try not to move the knees. So wherever your knees were to start is where they should just remain. Sweep up and open so you're getting a nice stretch across the chest. And then close. And just sort of keep repeating this maybe 3 or 4 more times. You might notice you're increasing your range the more you do this, which of course is fabulous. Make sure you're keeping that belly pulling up and in. Okay, take your gaze, turn your head to sort of get that left hand in your view, and just hold here and take a few breaths. Maybe that left shoulder gets a little closer to the floor. Most important is that you're breathing. Okay, let's take the hand back. Let's connect our palms again. Both arms are straight. Palms are touching. Now lift the arms off the floor. So even the right arm now is off the floor. And then lower it. You're going to feel a little pressure under that right shoulder. It's kind of like a massage. Lift up and lower. Maybe you're lifting 4 or 5 inches. Doesn't need to be great. Do it a few more times. Okay, release the arms. Roll back onto your back. Rock and roll yourself back up. Bend your legs. Get onto your left side. And then take it all the way down where your head is resting now on your left arm and it's back behind you. Take your right hand over the right hip, sweep it up to the ceiling. Now, play around with the angle of the palm, whether it's facing down or up. It just sort of changes the stretch through the shoulder. So you're going down with the arm over the hip and then back up and back towards the back of your room. Just do that a few more times. It's amazing how these little things that we do can make us feel so much better throughout our day. Okay, lift your head up. Bring that arm forward so it's right out to the side. Lower the right hand so now your palms are touching. See if you can relax your head to the floor. If you want to grab a pillow to put underneath, that's fine. Sweep your arm up and over. We're going for a nice chest stretch on this side. And then come back. And go up and over. And back. And again, your knees are wherever they were. It's not about getting that right arm any closer to the floor. Now your gaze can follow your hand. Let's just do a few more. You might be feeling this behind the shoulder, kind of if you're on a hard surface. Now let's just hold that right arm open. Breathe 3 or 4 big breaths. Okay, let's bring the hand back so your palms are connected. We're going to lift both arms off the floor. So the left arm comes up, you're just on the shoulder now, and then lower it and lift. It's a nice little massage for the back of that arm. Lift and lower. And let's do that one more time. And lower. And bring your body back on its back. Bring both knees into the chest. Let's take care of this lower back again. So this time we're going to keep the knees together and make a little circle. And then change the direction of your circle. Nice. Now rock and roll back up. See if you can find a towel. We're going to stretch the back of our legs with the towel today. So I want you to wrap it under your left foot. Hold on to it with your left arm. Your right leg is extending out with the calf on the floor. Try to keep that calf on the floor. Roll it down Pilates style. So you're hollowing out the belly and you're rounding through the low back. Now straighten this left leg. So your right leg didn't move. I want you to take your right arm all the way back behind you, like we do when we do that full body stretch. This time you've got your left heel pushing up to the ceiling and move the foot backwards while you maintain the push up to the ceiling. Spread your fingers wide on that right hand and keep that arm really long. This is the last stretch we're doing. Class is almost over. Enjoy. Now, if your arm needs a break, just move it forward, let it come back down on the floor, relax, and take it back. Maybe you can move that right foot up and back a little further. And then release it. Bend the knee, release the towel. Extend that leg all the way down. Pilates style it all the way back up here, pull in your belly. Round over your legs between them. Take a breath or two. Now you're going to come back up. We're switching legs. So I'm taking the right towel over that right foot. Left calf on the floor. Lift that leg. Rock and roll yourself back down with control. And take that left arm all the way back behind you. I would like your right leg straight, foot flexed, heel pushing to the sky, and then move it back. Hold and breathe. So I've got both legs locked out straight. Keep pushing the heel up, and then keep trying to move it further back. If that left arm needs a break, bring it back forward, and then just start again. Nice. Now we're going to bring that arm back forward. You're going to release the towel, bend that knee, bring it into the chest. Your left leg is where it was. Now take your right hand onto that right knee. Your left hand is just relaxing by your side. You're going to open this right knee towards the right, helping yourself get an inner thigh stretch. Just hold it. I'd like you to keep both of your hips on the floor, so don't take it out so far that you're not stable. And then bring it back. Extend that leg down. Do the same with the left. Bring your left knee into the chest, nice and close. Release the right arm to the floor. Open that left knee. Your right hip stays down. You can use your left elbow to help support that left knee going out to the side. So it can be down on the floor. Makes it a little bit easier to hold this and maybe improve the range. Another breath or two. Bring that knee in, bring the other knee in, rock and roll forward, get all the way up onto the toes. Hang out here just for a sec. Really high on the pad of the foot. Okay, let's go to a straight leg, full forward fold, relax the head. Try to keep both legs straight. Try to drift your hips backwards. 3 breaths, and then you're off to get your day started. Okay, one hand at a time above the knees. Give yourself a little bend in the knees. Come up nice and slow. So you're helping with your knees. And I thank you so much for your power and strength. Have an awesome day. Woohoo!
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank
Bye, Val.
you.
That was great. Thank you.